Hey guys, welcome back to our third episode of Improv Gaming. We have a lot to cover today. We're going to be talking about delayed games, yearly games, game trailers, but first, as always, I have to introduce my co-host. First, to my left, he's only the biggest Zelda fan in the world. Don't believe me? He has a shirt and a tattoo today, guys. Come on. And to my right, he only has the best ponytail in the business.
It's fabulous.
Mr. Nicholas.
How you doing today, everybody?
And of course, I am your other host, Pete, who's just wondering what the hell is going on with Nintendo. But you know that story. But we have a very special guest for you guys tonight from Scholars of Wrestling, Mr. Scholar Brian Ringwood. How are you
What's
today?
going on, guys? It's nice to be talking about something different for a change.
As always, you guys can follow them at YouTube at Scholars of Wrestling. But he is a gamer and he has some gaming knowledge. And we talked to him about some of these titles and he was raring to go. But first, a couple of news. Me and Jeremy at the end of this video has a special announcement for you guys. So look forward to that.
Check it out.
You're going to like it. But first, we have our What Up News with Mr. Jeremy Bird.
What up? Basically, the Legend of Zelda Netflix videos that we're going to go through, the series, got canceled by Nintendo. We don't know why, but it was just dropped on my phone recently that they're putting the kibosh on that, and goodbye to that series. It could have worked. Who knows? I thought it could have. And the second news, which was a big one for me, they delayed Zelda Wii U by another year. Of all things, just... Why can't I play this game? It looks so good!
Because it's Nintendo.
Well, I guess that will bring us into our first topic, which is delayed games. And do delayed games hurt the game? Does it help the game? What are our thoughts on it, boys?
Well, it depends on how it's done. There's been a lot of times where they've delayed a game, and I've just been really unsatisfied with what they brought to the table. I can't really think of any examples off the top of my head.
I can tell you probably South Park Stick of Truth.
Actually, you know what? That's
Yeah,
true.
I knew. I was thinking you were going to say that.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. South Park Stick of Truth, which was postponed for basically what felt like millennia, and they come out with a game that, I'm sorry, again, I'm a huge South Park fan, but they come out with a game that doesn't hold up to par with the series itself. Especially since it's an RPG and there was so much content that they could have put into this game and it could have lasted for a very long time as an RPG. They just weren't able to come to the table, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And it was shocking because Trey Parker and Matt Stone were able to go into any industry and kind of take it over. They did it with Team America in the movie industry. They did it with Book of Mormon on Broadway, where they just kind of like destroyed everybody. So I thought that when they came to the gaming console world, officially as themselves, they were going to destroy the competition. But they didn't. So yeah, that's a delayed game that just didn't work out. But there's other examples of delayed games that do work out. I'm sure you have plenty.
Of course. On a sidebar, I didn't think South Park was that bad, but God forbid, if you saw our Destiny, saw our Destiny show, that was one.
That was an annihilation. Sorry.
No, I feel like delayed games can help because obviously when a game gets delayed, it's helping the game. You know, they're taking more time to fix the bugs, which they should have done with Assassin's Creed Unity instead of having the faceless stuff. If you guys remember that, but it also
gave me nightmares.
But the nightmares. But it also hurts because let's give an example. Uncharted 4 got delayed this year. We just found out that Zelda on the Wii U got delayed. What is Nintendo going to bring to the table besides Star Fox? You know, which is great. I'm not dishing on Star Fox, but you need that Zelda Mario, so Nintendo has to do something. Uncharted 4 got delayed. What is Sony going to do? You know, here's Xbox coming into E3, which they already announced in September that Halo will be dropping, Halo 5. They have Tomb Raider coming out. I mean, they have these powerhouses. And then, yes, they also delayed Quantum Break for the Xbox One for early spring 2016, but that's also that they have stuff to back it up. They have the Halo 5, they have the Tomb Raider, they have all these games where, you know, they'll be fine because they said they moved Quantum Break because they had a butt ton of games coming out this fall. And for Sony and Nintendo to delay their games, it hurts them in the long run. What is your thoughts, Jeremy?
It does, like, they're games you can delay and make them better, and there's games you can delay and make them worse. I.e., I'm a huge Duke Nukem fan. I like Duke Nukem Forever. What was the last game? That was the last game that came out?
Duke Nukem Forever. Yeah.
That abomination.
I waited 15 years almost for that fourth game to come out. Yes, it's a piece of crap. It's broken, but I get a kick out of just for all the satire they put in, all the different characters. But that's a description of a game that you made horrible. Trying to think. Ryan, you want to take this one thing and another?
Yeah, I'm curious to
Well,
see the
yeah.
scholar.
Delayed games can help because you got Uncharted 4. That was gonna be amazing as it was. Okay, they're delaying it to make it that much better. Hopefully that works out. You've got Arkham
Knight.
You've got Arkham Knight. They've delayed that how many times?
But cut you up real quick. They're gonna drop a PS4 Arkham Knight. I'm gonna buy that, even though it comes out 2 weeks after the game comes out. I'm still gonna buy the console just to get that game.
So you can join the Sony
Mwah!
boys here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well done, PlayStation.
That's
Join the
Well
rest
done.
of us.
Just from hearing it, you're gonna buy it, and
Yeah.
it's the Arkham series. It's most likely 95% gonna be awesome.
So it's
Yeah.
rock steady.
Okay, so why are you delaying it so much? To make it that much better.
And yet you're
okay, then you've got Watch Dogs. I did not hate Watch Dogs, but you delayed it. Why did you delay it?
Yeah.
For what reason? There was no need to do that. They didn't like change anything. It's
It's
just they
It's Grand Theft Auto with a gimmick.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
like they did. They delayed it 8 months from the. It was supposed to come out as a launch title and for the PS4, and they delayed it 8 months to do what? To do what with it? And it was one of those games where you delayed it so much, you didn't really fix or change anything, and it wasn't the best game of the year for PS4, which kinda it's disappointing. The story wasn't that great. There was a lot of content, which gave you a lot of time to put into it, but the story wasn't that great. It was kind of disappointing for the first must-buy title of the PS4. And so delayed games are supposed to help the process, but then you get the select few that they delayed the game, and why?
Well, I think there's a 3-tier situation going on with delayed games. The first tier is what they want to resolve in the game. The reason that they're probably delaying it is because there's bugs that they noticed in the game. So the Assassin's Creed bugs that you see, not the faceless bugs and stuff like that you see, they probably, try to fix a lot of those bugs, but they didn't get all of them, which is a subject that we can talk about on our next topic. In Watch Dogs, they might have had who knows how many bugs on it, right? So there's that, right? The other part is to generate hype for the game. Watch Dogs was supposed to be a release title. We're going to postpone it because we know that people are waiting for this release title, and they're just going to buy it that much more. So you generate the hype. And then the last tier would be actually fixing or adding to the game, which I think nobody actually does when they're delaying a game. I don't think they're adding anything to it.
They turn it into DLC. That's all they do.
They're not adding anything to it. All they're really worried about is the bugs and all that stuff. So once the game has been announced as delayed, I think at that point it's just bugs or generating hype. The third tier that we all hope for as gamers is that they're adding stuff to it to make it better, but they're probably not fixing any mechanics in the game or anything like that.
Well, I was gonna say, do you guys review like WWE games on your channel sometimes or no?
When we actually buy
Okay,
them, yeah.
because the delay game was WWE. It was
14, right? No.
WWF Attitude.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
on 64.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? They delayed that game for nine extra months. I waited for the game and I'm like, okay, it's going to be the next big, best wrestling game for Nintendo.
Nope.
Yeah, it was fucking WWF Warzone, but with like different graphics. And then we got No Mercy, which just
is
So good.
near to my heart.
he can whoop me in any WWE game, but no one's been able to beat me in No Mercy. I played that game. I know all the mechanics. Fuck you.
All right, double F bomb today from Jeremy. Ching-ching!
We should just keep that.
Screw attitude.
The ticker will be on the bottom of the screen. Let's see how many we can get
No,
today.
that game made me so mad. Screw WWE.
How mad did
attitude.
it get you though?
I almost broke my.
The
60
combo
board.
system is.
All right, that's three.
Yeah.
Woo!
No,
All right, three for.
Screw WF attitude. Just if you think No Mercy is a bad game, you're stupid.
Are you gonna
Because
pick up
honestly, it was
WWE 2K15?
I already have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't figure the mechanics out. I've tried in those games and I just get destroyed.
It just
every
looks
time.
very pretty.
It's
Yeah.
one of those.
It's a pretty
It's
game.
one of those games. He can attest to this. The drunker I am,
Yep.
the better at the mechanics I am.
I figure to round out our discussion on delayed games, I think the group of us, it either helps or hurts. Sometimes it builds hype. Sometimes it just is a broken ass game that needs to be fixed, like the faceless. Because with Assassin's Creed, they come out every year, and they end up giving free DLC because of all the problems that were happening. But the DLC actually, since they worked on it and fixed the bugs, it was much better. Which brings us to yearly games, which a lot of people in this room have this argument that is it good, is it bad? We're talking about the Call of Duties, the Assassin's Creed,
The Battlefields.
the Battlefield. Well, now Battlefield comes out every friggin' year. But Jeremy, you want to start with this one?
Next, I'm sorry, but
What, you don't even want to talk about it?
no. Like just yearly games in general, they all seem like the same thing. Like it's all war games, all first-person shooters. It's stupid to me.
My argument against yearly games is that you have these major franchises that everybody loves and adores, right? Your Metal Gear Solid, that I'm sure everybody's waiting for the next one so they can sit down for 4 hours and watch
It's gonna blow the game
just
industry
watch
out of the
strictly
water.
cutscenes. But it's a enchanted franchise in a way that people will still come back to it. Final Fantasy, people come back to it.
Yep.
But these aren't yearly release games. They don't come out every year. Right? Everybody waits for the new game to come out. Even Grand Theft Auto, which is probably the easiest game to turn into a yearly release, doesn't come out with yearly releases.
Every 5-6 years.
You get 2 titles per console tops. I think PS2 had 3 titles.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you get these 2 titles per console, and it's still a genre and a franchise that people come back to. My argument against yearly games is that it's just remapping the same game over and over again. And people will argue with me that Advanced Warfare, they changed stuff. Yeah, but the core dynamics of the game are the same, right? They didn't fix anything. They didn't clean anything up. All they did was add something that they've probably been working on for like 3 years. But they added it to this game because it was finally finished. Which is what they should have done, was work on something for 3 years and then release a game, because it's new, it's something different, right? You have what was the other game I was thinking of? Oh man, completely lost my train of thought.
Well, I was going to say real quick because you cut me off.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Assassin's Creed 3, and then you put Black Flag out, less than 9 months later? Way to drop the ball. Like, I waited for Assassin's Creed 3, I played it, I loved the game, and then Black Flag came out 9 months later, and I'm like, you just ruined a really good build-up. Like, okay, you dropped it, like, less than a year later. Come on! Like, I'm so burnt out from this game, I don't want to play another one just yet. It'll sit on my shelf and collect dust, and then when I'm ready to play it, then I'll start playing it.
Well,
The difference for that specific example is that Assassin's Creed Black Flag is so much better than
I'll give you
3.
that, I'll give you that.
So it's like, yeah, it was 9 months, but in that 9 months, they crafted a masterpiece.
They did.
Okay, then you jump from Black Flag to Unity, and that is the definition of a money grab.
Yep.
Because this can also go back to delayed games and all that. Some games need to be delayed, and this was one of them. This was completely, let's just get it out. The first game of the PlayStation 4 era, the first official game, and it's like it's going back to basics, but the basics kind of suck now. It's one of these, you just crafted a masterpiece on boats and ships with the ship warfare and all that, and then you just take it away and you've got all these bugs. The story is not good, and it's like if they had just taken their time, skipped a year, and put out Rogue. Rogue, the PS2 version, was so much better than Unity. Wait a year, just update the graphics and keep that, or put Rogue out and work on Unity for another year, and there you go.
I'm glad Assassin's Creed was brought up, because that was the point that I was thinking of, where they never actually fixed anything. From Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2, you got major changes. You had huge changes that really changed the way the game worked, where he had the hook blade, where he could slide down the ropes. He could use the hook blade to grab higher ledges and stuff like that. They changed some fundamental gameplay issues that made the game better. But one thing they've never changed is when you're running on a building and you want to jump to the next building, and instead he jumps to the ledge that's right there.
I'm like, what?
And then you're jumping in a circle around everything, right, to get the momentum back to jump to the next building, but you don't have the momentum, so you drop, and then you lose all your armor degrades, your health, you die.
You lose the mission because of it.
They never fixed anything from 2 on to actually change the way that the game felt. They did it from 1 to 2, where Altair, he couldn't really chain jumps like that well. You had to get up to a ledge for you to activate your assassination like prompt. But even then, like, he couldn't get off of a ledge very smoothly. It was really disgusting how he would get off of a ledge. Like, he would drop, and it was just ugly. But in Assassin's Creed 2, they made a lot of smoothing out, but you still had this glitchy nonsense where if there were 4 poles, you would jump around in a circle for like hours.
I'm a Spider-Man.
Yeah, like, try to catch me.
And with Unity, it was the worst, because the collision detection is bad.
God.
So you're not even on the ledge. You're kind of just chilling in midair. Just like, you're supposed to be on a ledge, but instead you're doing like this in the middle of the air. It's the funniest thing to look at, but when you're playing the game, it's like, what the hell is happening?
Ever. Yes.
That's what's called ET.
And they said that they were
Rushing
breaking
it
it
up.
down to the core so that then they can rebuild it, and they called it the Unity engine, and they actually didn't change anything.
Garbage.
Which made me so furious, because the only reason, right? So Assassin's Creed 3 comes out, then Black Flag comes out. When Assassin's Creed 3 came out, and then 9 months later Black Flag came out, I was like, that's it. I'm done. They just turned into a Call of Duty. I'm not playing a Black Flag, and I haven't. Now that you're saying that it's an amazing game and it's so much better, then I might play it. But I'm so fed up with the way that the industry went, or the way that Ubisoft went, that I was just like, that's disgusting.
Black Flag is completely different.
Yeah.
You're talking about changing mechanics and doing all that. They put in the ship battles. They put in all that.
From what I've gathered from what people have told me about Black Flag, is that they took the ship stuff that you did in the game and they turned it into its own game.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like they built that mechanic. Everything is smoother, and then they put out Unity, and it's back to the worst aspects of Assassin's Creed that there ever were. They tried to put it back to basics, and it's like, why?
Well, everybody's had their opinion on yearly games, but me. And I have some
He
stuff.
hasn't said a word
The
about
host
Unity.
doesn't get to talk.
Now, first of all, if Rogue came on the PS2 like you said, that would have been fantastic for the system.
PS3.
That when I caught you, I was like, yes,
I
whoa.
was say that.
I have to say, but hold on. Here's my thought on yearly games. Let me get into. Now, yearly games I enjoy to an extent. I think that Call of Duty could be a yearly game. They give you enough. The campaign is different. Yeah, the mechanics aren't different, but it's Call of Duty. Every first-person shooter aspires to be like Call of Duty with the controls and everything. There's nothing better, I feel, than when you play a first-person Call of Duty game. And I played for the campaign, you know. A lot of people play for multiplayer, obvious reasons, you know. And they have the map packs, which bring you back to Call of Duty. But for me, the campaign is always different. Yeah, it's the same thing at the end of the game where, you know, you have to shoot the guy or throw the knife.
I can't
But-
see.
And your entire team dies.
Yeah.
But it ends up being...
Called it.
But it ends up being that it gives you that sense of, I always feel like I'm playing a Liam Neeson or Jason Statham.
Here we go with this one.
Yes.
Where you're
Didn't
playing an
we
action
just
game.
talk about this the last episode?
Yes,
No,
we did.
it doesn't feel like that.
To me, it does. But then you have the flip side where there's some things that don't work. Battlefield, I feel, should not be a yearly game, and that's what it's turning out to be. They just came out with Hardline, which I'm excited for, but I'm like, it's a yearly game. They delayed it just because they're trying to keep up with Call of Duty. Call of Duty comes out every November, you know, and now they just released Hardline, which came out in March. That's 3 months later. Maybe because they didn't want to compete with Call of Duty, who knows? But the one that gets me the most, and we talked about it a little bit, is Assassin's Creed. I have played every single Assassin's Creed. Every time. I just finished Unity a couple of months ago because I waited for all the bugs to finish because God forbid.
Still waiting for the bugs to be fixed.
Yeah, there's still some bugs. You know, but it ends up being that it's the same game with a different paint of coat. You know, we went to...
Different painted coat.
Let's switch that around.
A different coat of paint. All right, let's go.
That's one for the bloopers, guys. Don't worry. No, but it has a different coat of paint. Yeah, there we go. And it's you go to France, you go to America, you know, which is cool to explore and go. Oh, the first thing I wanted to do was climb Notre Dame, you know, and there's a go up there, whole
Hey,
thing.
Quasimodo, what's up?
Yeah,
How long did it take you to climb Notre Dame? Did you jump around? Like, why can't I reach that ledge?
It took me a few minutes because at a point I'm like, what the f-? I almost cursed, but we're not going to keep that.
yeah.
Where it got to a point where I'm like, how the fuck do I get up there?
You just cursed.
There it is.
I couldn't think of a better word to say. But to me, like, Assassin's Creed, it lost its nostalgia. Because, like, the special thing is about the GTAs, the Uncharted, the Final Fantasy, all these games, you know, you're waiting and waiting, and then you get and you're like, oh, this is such a fresh idea. This is so good. Even Mario, you know, them taking a year off. I'm so excited for the new Mario because I know it's going to be something completely different that Nintendo does. But then you have these yearly things, which we haven't touched on, and I'm surprised nobody here has said. Yearly sports games.
I mean, that's given.
See,
Look,
here's the
this
deal.
is my thing with yearly sports games. It's I shouldn't have to pay $60 a game when all you can do is update it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do to restat the game. So that then I have this year's update. So if you want to make me pay $60 for a brand new game, no, don't do that. Make me pay $10 for an update so I can have this year's stats. I think it's as simple as that. Of course, there's new players that come in and out, but how many games do we have where an update comes and it adds content and takes away content? That's something that's practically part of gaming nowadays, where you get something new that fixes bugs, that removes bugs, that will put in new stats. Destiny being the perfect example, where they restat the guns every week or so. They always throw out new stats for the guns. So when all you have to do is flip a little ticker that tells me that Shaq can't dunk like he did last year, then
Retirement patch.
yeah, like do that instead of telling me, oh, I have to pay $60 so I can have about 80% of the same game, just with new players in it.
Well,
Yeah, if you don't have new modes in a sports game, don't make me pay $60. What he said. It's one of those, like, every year Madden comes out. Okay, and the last time a Madden should have come out was when they first did the connected franchise.
Yes.
That was the brand new thing. That was the brand new mode. That was you go online, you get a bunch of your buddies together, you make a franchise, And ever since then, nothing new. It's just, so why am I paying $60 unless it's a new system? Then you buy $60 to get the game. Other than that, I don't need to.
Well, didn't they like have the same like controls for like almost a decade, and then
Yeah.
1 year they just literally revamped the whole system? Wasn't that like?
Well, they had the defense.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
did, like this
That
year
was
the
like
big
two.
revamp was the defense.
Yeah.
That was the big thing this year, but it's like, okay, it still has all the same modes. You're
Yeah.
just revamping the defense. Okay, give me $30.
But yet you still have people who literally that's their niche. It's like they don't care about Mario, they don't care about Call of Duty. It's like when's the next Madden coming out? When's the next WWE? When's the next NCAA coming out? And I'm just like,
That brings
okay,
that brings
not my
interest-
thing, but
That brings an interesting point because I don't know if anybody's an NHL fan. NHL 14 was fantastic. It had the anniversary of
Thank you, I
'94,
was gonna
which was
say.
great, and it also had this mode where you can go on with your buddies. I can't think of the mode offhand, but you could be like, I want to be center, I want to be goalie, I want to be right wing, I want to be left wing, and do all these different things. And then when the new version of the next gen of NHL 15 was coming out, I was like, oh, I'm so excited for this. It's going to look so good. And they didn't have that mode, and it was just so stripped down. And here's a $60 game, and the only thing it gets is a fresh coat of paint. And I'm like, this is what turned me off with sports games. You know, I traded in my Madden, you know, and I might get Madden when it comes out because me and my buddies always do a yearly thing. But unless like friggin' the NHL get a face coat where they bring stuff back or they bring in the show, because I was going to pick up the show, but it's the same thing, you know, a little bit better graphics, pitching. It doesn't bring that much. You need to give me something that brings a whole bunch more. But
thank you, Remind. I was gonna say real quick, the '94 controls. I appreciate that because I played '94 NHL games for like ever.
so good.
And trying to play against him, I still suck. I still can't beat this kid in NHL because he knows what he's doing. 94 versus actually playing the real controls, and he still smokes me. But that was a little nod to where I really appreciated that. I'm like, look, my thumbs just don't want to. I just don't want to update to the new controls or whatever. And yet I'm still playing. Okay, this button does this button does that.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, back to the goal net. That's
Well,
what I appreciate.
I think we've covered yearly games. Like I said, I feel it depends on the game. Some people, oh my God, Metal Gear Solid. But, moving on, which is also why we brought in. Right now he's the bastard child because if you can see
He's in the
behind
back.
the
That's
camera.
not count.
But I think bastard child's not a bad word. Well, yeah, I guess it could.
I'm
be.
a bastard child.
So am I. What's the
I'm
problem?
not offended by it. No.
But we brought up this topic to Scholar Brian about game trailers, and he had a very interesting say on it. So, Brian, you will lead this topic.
Yes, please
It's
do.
compared to when we last spoke, it has changed
Okay.
a little bit.
Liar.
Okay. the
It's like a new Call of Duty. A little bit it changed.
here's the deal.
Full circle.
That was good. That was good. I like that. If the trailer doesn't tell me, give me like modes and tell me like why it's so great, like Uncharted 4, the gameplay trailer, the 5 to 10 minutes, I'm down with that because it's showing me like what new you can do in the game and all that, and I'm like, okay, cool. This trailer's awesome. I'm gonna buy it. Then you get the Destiny TV trailers it's just a bunch of dudes
Live
coming
action.
up, a bunch of dudes coming up, open war, and then saying it's not a game, it's an experience. Why? How? It's what that doesn't make me want to buy the game. It's just a hype. It's just a hype machine, and I'm just like, it doesn't tell me anything. For those types of trailers, it's like, okay, now I'm gonna go to the previews online. I don't need to see a trailer. I need to see a preview
need
telling
to
me
see
what
the
the hell's
gameplay.
going on. So it's a double-edged sword. If you're giving me gameplay, like say the Halo
Well,
that just came out, we were talking about it beforehand.
My God.
You're not giving me gameplay, but you're giving me story.
Yeah, you get the
And
first
it's
hook
like,
in me.
okay, cool.
That
The
entices
story's cool. So that makes my interest peak a little bit. But if it was just like Halo 5.
Well, I think what that does, what you're saying, delves into what's a more effective strategy when you're releasing a trailer. Is it doing the Destiny route where you have live action people running around and throwing grenades at Cabal, or is
listening to classical music?
Yeah, listening to classical music and talking to each other, or is it actually showing me something in terms of story or gameplay in that regard and in that niche? Like, which one is more effective? My issue is if I don't know about a game, how am I going to find out about a new game that they're releasing, right? Like Bloodborne, right? Or Bound by Fire that came out when the PS4 came out. How am I going to find out about those games if they don't show me a trailer
That's
about
an interesting point, because you think about it, games like Bloodborne, they'll drop them on the internet, like YouTube, like, check out this game while you're watching a video or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's come out, I didn't know, versus the big games like Halo, Call of Duty, all get the TV spots. My point is, Halo 4, I did not see a trailer for it. If you can tell me what the trailer for Halo 4 is, I'd be very impressed. I don't remember one.
Yeah.
Halo 5, I was watching on TV and I see, like, who's the other guy? Not
Spartan Locke?
Spartan Locke's walking towards Master Chief like, you were the hero. Why did you do this? And now it's my turn to stop you. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Master Chief's in trouble. Do I really want to play it because you're going to go against Master Chief? You do not go against Master Chief. I don't care who you are. You do not. Then I saw the reverse trailer where it's Master Chief walking up, and I'm just like, okay, yep, I want to buy this now.
It does look good.
First hook, let me see what the graphics are and what the gameplay is. Right now, you got me about 70% sold. I'm probably going to buy that game.
Well, the issue that comes up is, and Brian touched on this when we were talking outside of this this episode, was for games that are franchise, chances are I'm going to buy them.
Yeah.
I don't need to see a preview of Final Fantasy to know that I'm going to buy it. I don't need to see a preview of Halo to know I'm going to buy it.
Zelda. I'm going to buy it.
And for the fans of these yearly releases, they don't need to see a preview or a trailer of a new game because they're going to buy it. The trailers that we see for like Call of Duty and all those games, and even like the kiddie games, those are more directed towards kids who probably have limited access to internet, can't do all their searches. I'm not saying that this is true. This is obviously false. I'm just saying probably. All right?
In my opinion.
Probably. We already know kids have access to the internet 100% because parents don't know how to use the internet. But for those franchise games, I don't need a trailer. I agree with Brian on that. But for the new games that are coming out, how would I have known about the order? How would I have known about them coming out with Castlevania? Because Bloodborne, Castlevania, I know that the franchise exists, but they haven't made a game in so long. That was close.
Yeah, you did close
they hadn't made a game in so long. Since
how long?
Castlevania 64, and then they came out with Castlevania for the PS3 and
Lords of
Xbox,
Shadow, which
right?
everybody hates, but I thought was a good
But
game.
Lords of Shadow was good. Lords of Shadow sucked.
That's what I'm saying.
other games like Final Fantasy: The Dirge of Cerberus. How'd you know that was going to come out?
I didn't.
But it came out a long time ago.
Yeah, no.
But you didn't know that was going to come out. These offsets are the ones that we need trailers for because I have no idea what's coming out. You put out Dirge of Cerberus, you're damn right I want to play it. It's a callback back to Final Fantasy VII. You think I don't want to play that? You put a trailer out, I'm buying it. That's absolutely getting purchased.
See,
Here's it goes back to what I was saying before. You put a trailer out for those new games, but you gotta give me something. It can't be like Bloodborne. The next must buy game for the PS4.
I'm probably not buying that.
But why? For what reason? How? You need to give me gameplay in these trailers. Not CGI cutscenes. Not all that. You need to give me, like, for the Halo 5 example, you don't need to give me gameplay. You could give me CGI cutscenes.
It was a live action trailer.
You could give me what you gave me in that trailer because it's a franchise. It's probably gotta get blood. But for Bloodborne, it's like you gotta tell me. You gotta show me that it's a that it's like a Dark Souls. You gotta show me the gameplay for say the Final Fantasy game that just came out, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. You gotta tell me that it's more of a strategy game, a strategy action game than an RPG. or else you're gonna buy it, you're gonna think it's an RPG, you're gonna get something completely different, and you're gonna be like, what the hell is this? So because when we first spoke about it outside, I was like, trailers don't matter. What the hell? And then I thought about it, and I was like, trailers matter, but you gotta give me. You can't give me live action trailers like the Destiny one where they're talking shit about each other doing that and expect me to buy it. I did not buy Destiny because they did not give me anything.
See, my thoughts on it is with game trailers. If you have your Halo, your Uncharted, your Battlefield, or Call, you know what's coming. You could get a live action and know exactly what the game is going to be. But when you have a new IP that comes out, I think it's very important to show, gameplay. When you come to like E3 and they have the big press conferences, somebody who doesn't know, Rainbow Six, and they're coming out with a new one of the Tom Clancy, and they showed that 15-minute house scene where you're breaking in and trying to do the rescue, that shows gameplay, that shows interest. For a kid who's not in our generation, who's younger, who is intrigued by it, them seeing the gameplay, they're like, oh my god, it's not an established series. Everybody knows the Call of Duty. My 12-year-old nephew knows about Call of Duty and he gets it every year, but it ends up being when you don't have that backing of what you are and it's a new IP, it brings me into, there was a gameplay shown that I watched on a channel about Yuri the Blind Forest on Xbox One.
Okay.
And it was a gorgeous, gorgeous game. I recommend you guys looking into it. And I was watching it and it had the beginning of the game where it showed, the setup, the introduction, and then went to gameplay and said it's like this, it's like that. And I was like, wow, that's gorgeous, but not a lot of people would know because it doesn't have that big game trailer thing. You're not going to see it on the news or you're not going to see it on a commercial. And it ends up being, I think game trailers help in the regards of, if it's an IP that's new, show it. Show the gameplay. Show the game trailer. Show gameplay and then show a trailer like Uncharted does, Show that 10, 15 minutes and then show, okay, this is what to expect. And then you're like, I saw the gameplay, I'm up about it. But, in that trailer, I saw that, with the airplane. I know I'm referring to Uncharted 3, but, that airplane, when you fall out, I want to climb that. You get more, the trailer helps. But it also helps when there's gameplay inside the trailer. You can't just have all cinematics unless you're a Halo or something like that.
Well, I was going to say on that point, if you put Final Fantasy VII versus Ocarina of Time, their full trailer was the whole CG scenes where he's fighting the robot, the rockets going off, that whole thing, while Ocarina of Time is Robin Williams doing the whole narrative of the game, talking about Zelda, and yet you see full gameplay, like you're in the dungeons, you're walking the fields, you're riding the horse. So I looked at both trailers way back in the day, and I'm like, they look cool, but I don't know what Final Fantasy looks like graphic-wise. Not the cutscenes, but like what's the actual gameplay look like? While Zelda gave me the gameplay, and I was just like, I like that kind of. And it's Robin Williams, so you can't go against that.
Yeah.
I think that covers us on game trailers and the whole episode for today. We promised you guys a big announcement. What me and Jeremy are going to do on April 15th at 9 a.m. is we are going to be live streaming the new Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
Fatality.
We're going to have some fun. Please join, guys. We'll answer your questions, comments, concerns, And Nick,
Get over there! Alright, be sure to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and always subscribe and like the video itself. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you to the fans. The first video got over 130 views,
That was beautiful.
Thank you, guys.
Nobody knows us from a hole in the wall, but we like to bring you guys entertainment we want to show, and we really appreciate, And we appreciate you, Scholar Brian, for dropping by and giving us some knowledge.
Hey, always feel free to come back if you ever want to talk.
As always, you can follow them on Scholars of Wrestling at YouTube. You go up about every week, right?
About every week, either on Saturday or Sunday. You can also follow us on Facebook at the Scholars of Wrestling Show, on Twitter at ScholarsOW, and you can follow myself on Twitter at Atomic Beanpole.
And you'll see everything you'll see when I mention the Twitch will have to Improv Cap. Nick will have a little bar, I
Yeah.
would hope.
Yeah.
And of course, you'll see our names and everything.
Yeah, also come see me on Wednesday and watch Pete get a fatality.
Yeah, please.
Jason
Goro, man.
Voorhees coming for you.
But no, like I said, please please come by and we'll answer some questions. We're proud to say that next time on episode 4 of Improv Gaming, a topic I really would like to talk about is our gaming past.
Yeah, what we've done, what we like, what we don't like, what we've experienced in our gaming life.
There's going to be a lot of F-bombs because a lot of games frustrate me. And hopefully you're wearing comfy pants because it's going to be a long one.
Alright. We have a lot of fun with that one.
As always, guys, thank you for stopping by, enjoying, and
And
as always...
Game on.